What is up guys, Joe here, back with another video. Today I wanted to cover my favorite stock, AMD. So not only is AMD one of the top growing semiconductor companies in the market, they are also one of the most liquid stocks in terms of both equities and option trades. And consistently, when you jump on bar chart, you'll see that AMD is always trending in the top 10 when it comes to options activity. A lot of investors and institutions are bullish on this stock. So with the recent downtrend of the overall market, has AMD found a bottom? And I do believe so. Yes, we have bottomed out for AMD, and I accurately predicted that AMD would bottom out at the $55 price point. And in the past few days, we are seeing a reversal from that $55 bottom, and now we're beginning to crawl upward and push higher. So today I wanted to do some technical analysis on AMD stock and see why it is the current buy recommendation at its current price point. So let's get started. So one of the best resources out there to analyze stocks and charts is Finviz. Finviz is a free resource where you can type in any ticker and it'll bring up a free chart and it'll annotate support and resistance lines for you. So here we have a weekly chart on AMD, and for all of 2022, as you can see, it has been on this downward trajectory. This blue line running across can be seen as support, and this pink line running above can be seen as resistance. And each time along the way, AMD bounced off of support here, bounced off of support here, bounced off of here, and it looks like we're bouncing off of support yet again down here, and we will continue to push higher. So let's take a look at what some analysts are saying about AMD stock. So quite recently, literally a week ago, we had some of the major banks reiterate their buy and overweight recommendations. Here's Wells Fargo giving an overweight rating and a new price target of 85. Piper Sandler, same week, overweight rating with a new price target of 90. Morgan Stanley on the same day, overweight rating with a new price target of 86. And JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, new price target of 80, and B of A Securities, Bank of America, new price target of 90. So the general consensus amongst the institutions here are buy, buy, buy. It's very rare that you see a lot of these companies come to an agreement on whether to buy a certain stock. So they have definitely put in the time and effort to research AMD, and they are recommending this as a buy and overweight rating to their clients. So obviously we have more lofty valuations here, up to $100, 95, 90. So with its current price of 58, this purchase is really a no-brainer. You have a lot of runway ahead of you for AMD to revisit its previous all-time highs. We are talking an upward potential of gains of up to 50% or more, even up to 100%. So definitely this is why I recommend AMD to any long-term investor. So quickly, let's pull up the daily chart here on AMD, and as you can see, downward trajectory, but one of my favorite indicators here is the RSI, the relative strength index. So simply put, the RSI will identify when a certain stock is overbought or oversold. So anytime you cross the 30-point threshold here, that's a good time to buy, and the stock quickly recovers and pushes higher. Conversely, anytime you cross the 70-point mark, that's a time to sell, and that is a time to take profit. And these line up exactly to the point in time on the graph where a stock dips and recovers, and conversely, a stock peaks and corrects. So obviously, anytime it dips below 30 is an excellent time to buy because it is oversold, and that's where you make the largest gains in terms of your purchase. So currently, year to date, we are definitely in oversold levels, and like I mentioned, historically, when we reach oversold levels, we rebound and push higher to the upside. And I'm illustrating here on the daily chart, but if we look at the weekly chart as well, here we go. Here's the weekly chart on AMD, and the story remains the same. Oversold levels crossing the 30-point mark here, and there's only one way to go, and that's to push higher. And if we zoom out on the chart, just to give you reference, going back to 2020, 2018, it all follows the same pattern. Oversold and pushes higher. So back to the daily chart. One of my other favorite indicators here would be the volume profile tool. So let me enable this. So the way the volume profile tool works is on the y-axis, it shows you bars along the graph here where it shows where at what specific price AMD was bought at in regards to total volume. So the larger the node here, the most active volume occurred at that certain price point. So here's one volume node at $81. That means a lot of investors were purchasing at the $81 mark. Right, and if you draw a line across, you can see that that does correspond to this level here. A lot of investors were buying AMD around 81. So you can see this line running across as either support or resistance. And when that line is broken through like here, we'll find the next large volume node, which is here. That will act as support. And that again corresponds to this over here. And what do we see here? That is roughly the $53, $54 mark. And that is where we bottomed out a couple of days ago. So it looks like AMD is going to want to bounce off of this and push higher. And we did exactly that. We landed at 55 and pushed higher. The next volume node would be an extreme low here, and that would be $31, but I highly doubt we would ever reach that valuation again. The last time we were at $31 was back in 2019. I really doubt we'll ever reach those levels again. So let's zoom in on this chart here. And like I mentioned, right exactly at the $55 mark, here is where we bottomed out, and AMD is printing a reversal pattern here, and it is going to want to push higher. And that corresponds exactly with our RSI down here, like I described earlier, bottoming out, and we are going to push higher. So this is definitely a simple explanation to what is happening here in the AMD chart pattern. Definitely less is more when it comes to technical analysis. You don't want to overanalyze. The lines really do draw themselves. You really have to identify the patterns yourself, and you don't want to force it. Let them happen organically. So when you find these bottoming patterns, it's a great time to take action and begin investing in this name. So definitely AMD is my top recommendation for equities when it comes to stock picking. I like what the company is doing, and they have a giant roadmap ahead of them. Tons of great solutions and products in the pipeline. Don't forget, I am not alone when it comes to these conclusions. A ton of these banks have the same sentiment. And you are super liquid when it comes to either trading or doing stock options, because AMD always lands in the top 10. Definitely bookmark, bar chart. And if you want to make a more passive strategy for holding your AMD stock, you can also do covered calls. You can navigate to the options tab within Yahoo Finance, and in order to achieve covered calls, you do need to own at least 100 units of this stock for this to work. But with covered calls, you can sell an option against your holdings, and you can generate weekly income simply for selling a call option. So for each 100 shares, for something that's considered out of the money, you can start pulling in something like $157 a week, $108 a week, $70 a week, simply for holding this stock. You're not selling, you are writing an option contract. So definitely check out my channel. I do have videos covering covered calls. I'm definitely a big fan of AMD. Let me know what you think about this stock. Are you a fan? Let me know in the comments section. So if you want me to cover more technical analysis videos regarding stocks or crypto tokens, let me know. I'll be happy to start making more technical analysis content. So I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a question in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.